What is up, sports bettors? Matt Modi here with OddsJam, here to give you my favorite NFL player props for Christmas Eve. So we got pretty much a normal slate of games going on Christmas Eve. So that means we have a ton of player props to choose from and to lock in. All of these bets I am finding using OddsJam, using the positive expected value page, making sure that every bet that I place has a mathematical edge and is a true outlier to the rest of the sports books. For those of you watching this, I'm sure you are already aware, but sports books have different odds for how they price it, or different sports books are going to have different odds for the same exact market, right? It's just how sports betting works. Sports books have different odds. So the way OddsJam works, it just pulls up odds from every single sports book on your state. Even you can look at sports books that aren't legal in your state just to get an extra point of comparison. But pulls up odds from every single sports book and identifies outliers, because if 6 sports books have something priced one way and then one outlier sports book is priced opposite, the more likely scenario here is that that sports book is going to be mispriced, right? Think about it in terms of like the stock market. If every reputable stock exchange has Apple stock trading at $300 per share, and whatever exchange you're using, you can get them at $250 per share, that would be a buy, right? That would be a hit. The reputable sources have it one way, you can get it lower. That would be a profitable stock to invest in. So that's exactly what sports betting is like. It's basically like stock trading. So we can get right into it, and I can talk about these plays and how it all kind of comes together. The first bet that we are going to lock in is in the Eagles versus Cowboys game, where I definitely don't have a personal rooting interest at all. No rooting interest at all in this game. But the play that we are locking in is Michael Gallup under 35.5 receiving yards, minus 110 odds at BetMGM. So the first thing that you want to look at here is these no vig odds here. These odds can be viewed as the OddsJam perfect line, the true line of what a market should truly be priced at. And they're pulled from the sharpest sports books in the world. So OddsJam back-tested, the way this whole thing works, back-tested thousands and thousands of betting opportunities and used that information, used that data to figure out what sports books are the sharpest at pricing odds, right? Which sports books consistently do the best job at pricing odds. Not yesterday, not for one sport, but over an extended period of time and a large sample size. So gathered all that data and said, hey, these X amount of sports books on average consistently price odds better than the rest of the market. So we're going to use them to set the market moving forward. These sports books have something priced one way, and then what OddsJam does is it's constantly scanning odds from all of the major sports books, analyzing millions of data points at any given time, and provides opportunities such as this Michael Gallup one, where you're getting better odds than the OddsJam perfect line. So in this case, again, the play is Michael Gallup under 35.5 receiving yards. So that is the first thing that you want to do, just look at the play itself. Then there's a couple other pieces of information you want to look at. Number one, if you click anywhere where it is highlighted blue, so like when I hover over this, you see that it's shaded blue. If you just click your mouse, pulls up where every sports book is pricing odds for this play. You want to do that, and you also want to view the event page in a new tab. Excuse me. So this individual screenshot that you see currently is pulling up where sportsbooks price over under 35.5. But we know that sportsbooks have different odds, right? Not every sportsbook is going to have the same exact odds. As you can see here, ranging from minus 110 to minus 160. This also means that not every sportsbook is actually going to price this market at 35.5, right? They're going to have it at a different receiving yardage total. So if you open this event page in a new tab and you open it up, you can see where every sportsbook is pricing the market for this. And as we can see for Michael Gallup, majority of sportsbooks prices over under below this number. So we see FanDuel has it at 33.5. We see Bet Rivers has it at 32.5. And then it looks like, if we can scan to the right here, it looks like some DFS companies have it priced above this number, but every sportsbook is pricing his receiving yardage total below this amount. Like I said, the actual sports books themselves, Bet Rivers and FanDuel. So we're taking an under 35.5. That pinnacle, the sharpest sports book in the world, heavily favors it going under, as does every other sports book, not as heavy, but still favors it going under. And then we see the remaining sports books price it below 35.5. So all in all, that signals that this play is a hit. So this is going to be the first bet that I'm going to lock in for these player props for Christmas Eve. Next up, in the same game, I like Gardner Minshew to rush for over 14.5 yards. So Gardner Minshew obviously starting due to the injury to Jalen Hurts. Eagles probably aren't going to run him as much as they ran Hurts. He also isn't as good of a runner as Hurts, but he can still scamper. And obviously, this is the most important part. It's mathematically profitable. No vig odds price this at -120. BetMGM gives it to us at -115. 5-cent gap between the OddsJam perfect line and the bet app, or the odds at BetMGM, I should say. Same thing here. Let's open this up in a new tab and let's see where every other sportsbook prices it. Again, you want to make sure that the majority of sportsbooks price it in your favor. In this case, we are taking an over 14.5, so we want to make sure that the other sportsbooks that price it above 14.5. And as you can see, we are getting it over 14.5, and the majority of sportsbooks, again, taking out the DFS ones, price this at 15.5, including BetOnline, which is another sharp sportsbook. So BetOnline is right here. So I mentioned Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook in the world. BetOnline is another sharp sportsbook. They price it. Not only do they price his receiving yardage total 1 yard higher, and that's a big deal, right? Going from 14.5 to 15.5, that's almost like a 10% difference. Not only do they have it priced higher, they heavily favor it going over. They have the over priced at -135, the under priced at +104. They are heavily juicing up the odds towards the over, which is BetOnline telling you that they think the over is significantly more likely. So this is going to be the second pick again in the Eagles-Cowboys game. Next up, a play that I really like in the Falcons versus Ravens game. Gus Edwards under 38.5 rushing yards. This play is at +102 at Caesars. The OddsJam perfect line prices this at -102 essentially. So we're getting a 4-cent difference. If you look at all the sports books and where they price it, so we're getting this for plus money. So if we place 1,000 bets at +102 odds and you win exactly half your bets, you will be profitable because we're getting it for +102, right? For every $100 wagered, you are profiting $102 if that bet hits, obviously. And if you look at where all the other sports books, granted it's only 3, so let's go ahead and open this one up in a new tab, where the other 3 sports books price it. BetOnline favors the under. DraftKings favors the under. BetMGM favors the under. Caesars has that for plus money. Every other book thinks that the under is the more likely scenario. Really good play here. If we look at where other sports books price it, similar logic. Every other book prices it below this number. And not only that, Pinnacle prices it, which is Pinnacle's this column right here. You see that it pulls up Pinnacle. This column right here. Again, similar logic. Not only do they price it, below this number, below 38.5, they favor it going under. They have the under priced at -116, the over at -114, heavily favoring it going, not heavily, I should say, sorry, slightly favoring it, but still favoring it going under. And remember, we're getting this for plus money, +102. So this is my third bet for Christmas Eve. The next one, again in the Eagles versus Cowboys game, Dak Prescott under 241.5 passing yards, -113 odds at Caesars. The OddsJam perfect line prices this at -117. So BetMGM has it a little bit closer at -115, but then DraftKings, -135. Pinnacle, -140. Open this one up in a new tab so we can see where every other sportsbook prices it. Player passing yards, as you can see, the odds range a little bit more heavily here. Actually, thanks to line shopping, the actual, you should take this at under 247.5 at FanDuel. You're getting it for 6 yards higher, and you're taking it under. I missed this when I was looking at this before recording. So the actual official play is going to be Dak Prescott under 247.5 passing yards, -114 at FanDuel. We're getting 6, so we're taking an under, right? We're getting it for 6 yards higher, only sacrificing 1 cent of juice, going from -113 to -114. So 6 yard difference, only 1 cent difference in terms of where we are pricing it at. So the official play to confirm, and this shows you why it's important to line shop, Don't just blindly bet the plays that you see here. Look into them because you can get even better pricing, which is exactly what we have here. So Dak Prescott under 247.5 passing yards as my fourth pick for this video. Next up, and I'll just kind of go through these a little bit quicker. Andy Dalton over 0.5 passing touchdowns, so he just needs to throw for 1 passing touchdown. Now, it's so low because this game is being played in like a blizzard in horrible weather, but it's a really good play on him going over. This is my 5th player prop. The OddsJam Perfect Line prices this at -141. Bet Rivers at -137. Pinnacle prices this at -177. Bet Online at -169. DraftKings at -165. PointsBet at -160. Caesars has it a little bit closer. I mean, yes, it does have it closer at -145, but every other book is heavily favoring it going over. That's our 5th play, and our 6th and final is Ramondre Stevenson under 4.5 receptions. Actually, it looks like the odds changed here, so this is no longer a plus EV play. So I am going to have 5 picks for you guys today. 5 player props to lock in. Well, today meaning this video, 5 minutes, 5 player props for you guys to lock in, and that's going to be it. So if you're tailing these, which I recommend you do, obviously comment and let me know. Would love to hear it. Other than that, I would appreciate a like on the video, subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel, and that's it. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Have a happy holidays and have a good one.